This is Peaches. She's been the topic of quite a few controversial YouTube videos and even a few Change.org positions. She does things like eat her own feces, talk about not showering, and this. Despite that, she still has a respectable following that grows more and more every day. Now, Peaches is an extreme case, but she represents a trend that isn't anything new. People doing outrageous, yet curiously entertaining things and gaining a following because of it. There's a word for this kind of thing. Infamy. There are tons of public figures who directly benefit from outrageous and weird content.
Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Jake Paul,
Logan
Paul.
Today, by far the most requested story from the past 2 days is the Logan Paul problem and situation.
Yo, today was absolutely insane.
Come on. I've made a severe lapse in my judgment.
People like the Paul brothers, two Vine stars gone YouTube who always seem to be involved in some kind of controversy.
A recent stunt involved tossing furniture into an empty pool and setting the pile on fire.
Recently, Jake Paul, the arguably less problematic of the two, released a business course on financial freedom. And people absolutely loved it.
Yes, Jake Paul is the person I look at when I envision financial freedom.
But despite all the criticism, interestingly enough, people still bought it.
So let me go ahead and enter my credit card information.
A handful of YouTubers enrolled in the course with the intent to make a video on its contents. The thing is, these YouTubers bought it ironically because it was Jake Paul. The sheer absurdity of the whole thing would honestly make for some pretty decent content. But that also means that Curtis Connor, Graham Stephen, and I'm Alex, among others, paid Jake Paul $20 so that they'd have content that they could put on their channels. Now because of this, I can't say that Jake Paul's team did this on purpose. Honestly, based on some evidence given in the reviews of the course, I'm not even sure if the movement was Jake Paul's idea in the first place. But what I can do is ask a question. What if this was intentional?
The videos had become an online craze among teens.
In December of 2017, the internet was losing its mind over cleaning detergent. Specifically the Tide Pod Challenge, where kids were supposedly eating Tide Pods. What ended up happening was less people actually going through with the challenge and more people complaining about how stupid the whole thing was. According to the AAPCC, there were only about 37 serious cases of poisoning by Tide Pods, and of those, only half were intentional. This didn't stop the challenge though from gaining notoriety, which in turn fueled some content creators to do it just for the views.
I'm just gonna kind of maybe salt it a little bit.
But YouTubers or TikTokers or Instagrammers don't really reflect the general population well. Most of the time they have followings because they're notable or because they do things the average person won't, like eat Tide Pods for views. Belle Delphine is a similar case. She built her entire brand off doing two main things. Number one, she's pretty. Number two, she does crazy shit that honestly doesn't make much sense. Then, in one of the most on-brand moves I've ever seen, she released samples of bathwater that she sat in for purchase. The general consensus was that the only people who would actually buy this stuff were neckbeards and creepy obsessive fans. But the whole thing was so outrageous that it got just about everyone talking about it, and from there it was only a matter of time before people started buying it just for the meme.
Yesterday, I bought Belle Delphine's bathwater. I just bought it so that I could basically make a video out of it, but
I don't think it would be much of a stretch to say that content creators were part of the target audience all along. And if nothing else, the move definitely earned her a lot of attention. Now in the case of Jake Paul's financial freedom movement, I'm going to be honest and say this form of reverse meme marketing probably wasn't done on purpose. But the fact still stands that there's a whole category of people who buy things just for the meme. And it's nothing new. Clever marketers have been taking advantage of this for ages. Humans are social creatures. Sure, we can be materialistic, but what most of us want more than anything is a story. Something to share with our friends or post on our social media pages. You'd be surprised how much people will pay for a single photo on their Instagram feed. So, when you buy something, often the actual product isn't as valuable as the story you can tell with it. And whether or not it's worth it is honestly up to you.